So, welcome back to the third and another powerful session of Embrace Your Powers. I hope you've completed the activity I gave you in the previous session where you had to really bucket the different feelings into different boxes. All right, so the four things, which is angry, agitated, glad, and afraid, and also find out which of the feelings takes up most of your time or which zone are you in most of the time, right? Now, I also told you that when you're born as a child, you have all these feelings, of angry, agitated, glad, and afraid. For small, small reasons, you would get angry, you may get afraid, etc. as a child. Now, if you look at these feelings when we grow up, all right, we grow up and uh, afraid may get into or extend into something called as insecurity. So these feelings take on their extensions as we grow up in us. Glad may take on the feeling of a lot of excitement or even anxiety. So agitated can be uh, extremely upset or depressed and so on and so forth. So now, after you bucket all of this, you need to think about which feeling takes up most of your time during the day. And that would decide what kind of life you're leading. Because, ladies, let me tell you, if you feel like you're spending most of your day complaining because there are certain things which are not right, you spend a lot of your life complaining. If you're spending a lot of your day in feeling sad about things that happened in the past, again, that's the quality of life you're living. So let me give you one more activity that can help you declutter. Okay, so really think about this, analyze this, and move forward. Yeah. So here I have divided this into 3 columns. So I would request you to again do this activity in your diaries. So create 3 columns or take on 3 pages, where the first column should be the things that you can control. Second column would be the things that you cannot control, or you can do vice versa, where you can write the first one as things you cannot control, the second one is the things you can control in your life, and then the third one would be things I can change. I'll give you an example to make it better for you. um, so when it comes to things I cannot control, for example, there is somebody's behavior that's bothering me. I cannot control it. After talking to this person for a very long time, or for multiple times, I have realized that this is something which is out of my control. This person may not want to change, and I will not be having a control over it. uh, the second one is things I can control. What I can do, however, is maintain my distance. The second example I would give you here about things I can control would be uh, maybe my way of dressing when I go to work. The way I interact with people is the things I can control. But the way people interact with me or behave with me is things I cannot control. Yes. Now, things I can change is something very interesting, where whatever you think you cannot control in your life, is there anything that you can do to change that, to bring it into things you can control? Please do it. For example, um, right now you have written in your things I cannot control is uh, your health issues. You are continuously falling sick, or you have some aches or pains because of a weight issue. Okay, now what you can do is you can consult someone or read something and bring on some lifestyle changes, and then that part can move into things you can control. Yes. So maybe I am overweight is thing I cannot control right now, but what I can do is I can create eating schedules, eat healthy food, cater to some exercising schedules, and that's how I can remain in control. So yes, there are some efforts I can put in here to bring it to things I can control. but there are certain things I cannot control. There are things which are happening in my surroundings right now. uh, Maybe the transport department in my organization is not really aligned, right? So I am not able to control that right now because I'm not directly connected to that department. All I do is take the transportation service of the office, but then I have no control over it, right? So please make a list of these things and see what you can move around from things you cannot control to things you can control. And rest of it is something I'll tell you how you can deal with. So the rest of the things that you cannot control at all are the things that you will forget. You will stop focusing on those things you cannot control. Things you can control would be the ones that you will focus upon every day, and that will change the angle from which you look at things, right? So every day when you wake up, create a list of things that you will be doing today that are in your control. Yes, and continue your focus on that. So that's why I said early in the morning, because early in the morning when you're making a to-do list and you're making a list of things you'll be able to control for today's day, your focus will automatically go there. And in case it helps you, you can also create a list of things that are happening quite regularly but you have no control over it. It's just creating some negative feelings in you. Write it down, tear that piece of paper and throw it away. Okay, so this activity once again will help you declutter and be more and more aware of the self. Okay, I'm going to give you one more activity for being more and more aware of the self, because ladies, this is really important to know ourselves better. Otherwise, there's a lot of productive time that's getting wasted in thinking about things that are not in our control. All right. So the next one is a few questions that you will ask yourself, and I would request you to write it down once again, because writing down changes something. Here it is. Describe yourself in some sentences. Yeah. So when you describe yourself, I will say 3 sentences. For example, I am a very calm and composed person on a regular day. Um I get really emotional when somebody who's very close to me behaves very nasty with me, and certain things about your professional life, maybe. So it will be a mix of your personal and professional. Okay. Then, once you have done that, the next question will be, describe yourself in 3 sentences once again from your close friend's perspective. So, what your close friends will say in these aspects that you have described for yourself in the previous question. What is your behavior like on a regular day? What is your behavior like when it comes to a lot of stressful situations? Uh, who are you as a professional? So, yes, these are the categories you will describe. You will answer them from your own perspective, and then you will answer them from a second person's perspective who's quite close to you. Try to match up these answers and see whether they match up or not. Or you can also call up a friend and ask them these questions. How it will help you is that you will know if at all there is any difference between your perception about self and the second person's perception about you, the person who knows you the best. And that will really help you realize and change or adapt. Okay. The similar question is the third question. What are your strengths in your personal life? So, similarly, when it comes to dealing with stressful situations, dealing with a lot of responsibilities, or dealing with a stressful boss, or it can be anything. So, what are your 3 strengths in your personal life? How you're managing your personal life right now? And what are your strengths in your professional life? Please write it down. And what has been your biggest achievement so far? Again, you can have two because you can have one in personal and one in professional life. Yes. So these questions will really help you declutter once again. It will help you know self better. And as I had said in one of the previous sessions, that we really are undercover performers. Once we get to know and explore these things, we will know more about ourselves, and it will be very easy to portray our strengths in front of the people. Okay, so that makes it all for this session. And in our next session, we'll learn a little more about the different communication styles and the styles that we must adapt. Okay, thank you so much.